Hey everybody, I'm Randall for Flomaton Famous. One of the ugly truths about being a gardener is where you've been potting up your plants, filling up your seed trays. And mine happens to be right behind me, and it's a sight for sore eyes. This, I know you can't see all of it right now, was a salad garden that I filled with potting soil and I started raising some salads in. It didn't quite work out. So I took all the potting soil that was in it and started filling up pots and filling up seed trays and using it that way. Whenever I built it out of all treated wood, except for the 2x4 legs, which have now rotted and been infested with termites and has fallen apart. And the time has come to build a potting bench. Now that I have a sawmill and I have some logs on the ground, some cypress, we're going to go ahead and pursue it. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at this ugly potting bench that I've been potting everything from. Everything is unrotted, it's twisted, it's on wheels. I could easily drag it around, but it's on its last leg, literally. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to pull a saw log over to the sawmill, start sawing out some lumber. I already have some dried lumber we're primarily going to use. I'm just short one or two 2x4 pieces. So let's go ahead and get to it and start milling out that lumber and get started on building this potting bench. All right, we got some boards milled up. We got 38.5-inch front legs, and our back legs are 6 foot tall. That's because this potting bench is going to have a roof over it to cast a shade. It gets hot here in the deep south. When I'm starting seedlings, I need a cool place that I can put them out of direct sun until they start coming up out of the ground. So we decided to build a canopy over the top of our potting bench. Let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, everybody. We're at the point in this build where we need to step back and let's explain what we've got going on before we continue any further. Now, through this build video, you've seen us sawing and putting together lumber. So basically the structure is built 6 foot on the back because we're going to have a roof, 24 inches across the front, and this is where we're going to put our slides. Now next, we've got to take our drawer slides that we had, and I had some left over from a previous build. These are 24-inch self-closing drawer slides, and they open all the way up for the entire length. And we're going to put these on this side, and then I also have some that are 22-inch. So no use in going and buy new slides if I already have some on hand. We're going to put these on this side. So let's go ahead and get this attached. Now I'm going to leave a 1-inch gap right in the middle so that when we do our slats continue all the way across to the next slide. Our slats are going to be about 1 inch apart. So if you're doing a build like this, you just space them evenly however big you want your gaps to be. We're going to do these upside down so whenever moisture or rain comes in, it doesn't hold water, the water comes on out. Now if I had it this way, there's a chance that water's going to collect in there and rust, and we don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and get these open. Slide them all the way out, up to our mark. We're going to center these right on the board. All right, so now we got to open them up. We'll move our tabletop over onto our slides. We'll line this up, make sure it's all square. And square, I'm just looking at the front of this where it closes, and then it will land right even with this where this needs to be. And then we screw these from underneath. All right, let's put some slats on. Now, one thing about dealing with cypress is sometimes you end up with some pecky cypress. We can always fill that in with resin if that really bothers us. I've already measured the proper spacing of the boards that I wanted. So we're going to put them on our marks that we already have laid out here. I have about 1-inch gaps between each board. Make sure we don't shoot through our boards. Very close, but we'll be okay. Go ahead and put you some decking screws in. All right, let's go ahead and get the bottom slats installed. Now for the roof, we did a 10-degree angle cut on the radial arm saw, and that's going to give us a 10-degree pitch. come along and I got to cut another 10-degree angle off the back of this board for that center rafter. And then I got to cut a board to go across the front. So I still got to do that too. So I've got some pretty little air layers of this fig coming on. This fig variety is Sunrise. This was a newfound discovery recently. And I bought a cutting of it over the winter, rooted it, and it has some side shoots coming on. So I brought these little propagation balls off Amazon, fill them with potting soil, roots come all out, snip them off the mother plant, boom, you have a whole nother plant. Let's go ahead and take this over and get this one potted up. Look how beautiful those roots are. Not root bound, plenty of roots, nice little starter plant. Now, one other thing that I did to bring this out here is I took some of these wheels off of my old potting bench, drilled a 3/8 hole in there, put a 3/8 bolt in there, and then cut about 1 inch off of the wood after I had it all bolted at ground height. That way I could easily wheel it wherever I need it without asking someone to come help me move this thing. All right, guys, I'm sure we're gonna get plenty of good use out of this. We've got shaded panels. We can grow out nice tender plants under here. during the heat of summer. All right, guys, one last closeout before we go. We brought it back in the shop. We put the varnish on it. I added this one shelf across the top so I could put all my tools, labels, and rooting and grafting supplies all up here so I have it up out of the way whenever I'm potting up plants. We wanted to show you this quick last update, what it all looks like with the varnish on it. This thing is ready to go outside, and we're going to move it out there tomorrow morning, and we're going to start putting it to really good use. Hope you really enjoyed this clip of us putting this potting bench together. All right, guys, do us a favor. Hit the like button and the subscribe button down below if you're not already a subscriber to our channel, and follow us as we do more of these build videos. And don't forget, keep growing, keep building, and always keep adventuring. And together, we're Flamerton Famous. We'll see you next time.